No surprise here. The Chicago Cubs knock off the Phillies to win their seventh in a row. And listen, with his recent play, we're starting to ask, is Nico Hoerner the best second baseman in baseball? And last but not least, Shota Imanaga continues to turn back the clocks. We're going to cover it all and then some right after this. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. And hey, listen, I appreciate each and every last one of you that tune into these episodes, whether you're liking, sharing, or subscribing. Thank you so much. Listen, our Chicago Cubs are streaking right now, and the channel is streaking also. We are trying to get up to 5,000 subscribers. And like I said, once we get there, we're going to probably do another giveaway. So at this time, though, I want to make sure that each and every last one of you guys subscribe to Chicago Cubs Central. Also, go ahead over there to Chicago Cubs Central Facebook group. And like I said, make sure that you guys join there also. But hey, listen, as usual, shout out to everybody on X, everybody that's watching on Spotify and on Apple, whether you download the podcast or not. And listen, I appreciate each and every last one of you too. Make sure that you guys leave a 5-star review when you talk about the podcast or watch the show. Thank you so much. So, Chicago Cubs do take care of business once again. They beat those Philadelphia Phillies one more time. And again, the Chicago Cubs handle business. And like I said, it couldn't come at a better time. The Chicago Cubs are on the rise and taking advantage of a team that is falling below. Coincidentally enough, the Phillies are fully healthy while they're struggling like this. Meanwhile, the Chicago Cubs are not fully healthy, but yet they are still able to take advantage and win ball games. Wrigley Field is a tough place to play, and it's a tough place to beat the Cubs at once again. This spectacular defensive plays, but more importantly, and we got to talk about this first, the spectacular pitching of one Shota Imanaga. Shota Imanaga in this game, guys, goes 7 strong innings, only allowing 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk. And here's the catcher right here. 1 strikeout. That's it. The rest of his stuff was ground balls. They literally came. It's almost as if they came to Shota and was like, hey, we don't need you pitching for the strikeout pitch. Let them put the ball in play, use your defense behind you, and just get out. This game, the way Shota Imanaga pitched in this game was very reminiscent of a Kyle Hendricks style game that I become accustomed to with watching Kyle Hendricks pitch. It was a game where it was a lot of ground balls, a lot of stuff, and you literally used your defense behind you. You induced weak contact, you used your defense behind you, and they got the job done. You have a Gold Glove outfield you have a Gold Glove defense every which way you look, in your infield and in your outfield. So Shota Imanaga, he just threw the ball up there and he allowed them to hit the ball, and only one person was able to get the ball out, and it was Kyle Schwarber, and he basically had to fist that ball out into into right field for his 1 home run, the 1 earned run by Shota Imanaga. Outside of that, it was weak contact to third base, weak contact to second base, weak contact to the shortstop, and Michael Busch was over there to gobble it up and to record the out. Shota Imanaga pitched so efficiently in this game. He only used 87 pitches, guys. He didn't even have to hit the 100 mark in this one. There was no laboring. There was nothing. He literally just took care of business. And to his credit, he shut down the Philadelphia Phillies. So I want to ask you guys, this is your first question of the day. Should we expect this style of pitching to come to Shota more often now? Is this going to be his style moving forward? And is this a winnable style for Shota Imanaga? Him being the 4th guy in your rotation, being able to send him out there and say, here you go, Shota, handle business. And for him to come out and to be able to do this for the Chicago Cubs, I think is magnificent. I am head over heels happy, excited at the fact that he was able to come out and give this type of performance for the Chicago Cubs in this game. Once again, a very winnable game, a very winnable series. Again, I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but again, this is a team that is slumping right now. And when you run into teams that are slumping, especially when you're playing right now in the most competitive division where not everybody is at 500 or above. Everybody in the Central Division is over 500 right now, with the Cincinnati Reds leading the pack 16-8 on the season. The Chicago Cubs in this game improved to 14-9 on the season, right behind those Philadelphia Phillies. But last I checked, the Cardinals were winning. Last I checked, the Pirates were winning. Last I checked, the Brewers were winning. So again, the Chicago Cubs have to stay on pace with everybody else in the division. We're looking at a dogfight right now in the division, which, you know what that means? That means each division game counts more. It counts almost as double, because you also want to take out your division rivals. You need to beat them and win division series against them, so that way you can get the upper hand when push comes to shove down the stretch. So we'll be looking at that, and we'll pay attention to that down the stretch. I'm very shocked at how well the Cardinals have started this season off. We'll see. Um, Meanwhile, like I said, we have to give a shout out to the guy that I believe is your pick to perform player of the game in this one, that being none other than Nico Hoerner. Sorry, y'all. The marquee app on my phone started back up again. I was going to my notes. But yeah, no, like I said, for me, you got to look at Nico Hoerner, guys. We have to be talking about Nico Hoerner. We have to be asking ourselves, is Nico looking like he's going to end up being, is he looking like he's the best second baseman in all of baseball, at least in the National League? As of right now, he's looking very, very strong. And guess who he plays for? He plays for your Chicago Cubs. Guess who they just signed to an extension? Nico Hoerner. It's a lot of people out here, including me, that need to apologize to Nico Hoerner, because Nico Hoerner has been doing the damn thing, man. I'm telling you guys, Nico Hoerner has been phenomenal with how he has hit the ball, hitting another home run tonight for the Chicago Cubs, also making sure that, like I said, that he's getting on base, he's taking his walks. Right now, Nico Hoerner, and I don't want to I don't want to put this in your head that I think he's going to win the MVP. That MVP award is Shohei Otani's, until he doesn't want it anymore. I'm just going. He has going to have to be injured for half a season for somebody else to come in and win the MVP award. He's just that phenomenal. This year, Shohei Otani might win the MVP and the Cy Young simultaneously. So watch for that. But Nico Hoerner is playing out of his mind right now. His numbers look like this. This is slash line. It's 326, 396, and 533, 160 WRC plus. He has scored 15 runs. He has 22 RBIs. He has 7 stolen bases. He has a 10.4% strikeout rate and a 9.4% walk rate as of right now. I mean, that's MVP level stuff for Nico Hoerner right now. And again, this is all him coming off the heels of signing that huge extension for 6 years to play for your Chicago Cubs. And right now, Jed Hoyer is looking like a genius with how Nico was playing. Jed Hoyer is looking like somebody that saw this or foresaw this coming from him, or knew that Nico had unlocked another level. And maybe him and Craig were talking like, hey, we want to get this guy locked in for a while, because he's about to have an explosive season. You saw it kind of brewing last year, but now it's really, really coming into fruition this year. And we are able to enjoy Nico Hoerner this year because of the contract. We don't have to worry about him re-signing him in the offseason or him going anywhere else. It's just smart business. And again, the Chicago Cubs and Jed Hoyer take care of smart business, as we can see. Now, with that being said, you also want to give a shout out to Seiya Suzuki. Seiya Suzuki got his first home run of the season, and boy, was it a moonshot. He sent the ball all the way out to Waveland. It left the park. It reminded me of the old home run Sammy Sosa used to hit out to Waveland, when you see the ball leave the park completely. Or, coincidentally enough, Kyle Schwarber hitting balls out of the park or banging them off the Budweiser sign at the top of the scoreboard. It was a beautiful shot, and hopefully this unlocks something within Seiya Suzuki. And another honorable mention, Michael Busch. When the Chicago Cubs have runners in scoring position, credit to first and foremost the Craig Council for leaving Michael Bush in, even though he's been struggling. He brought him up with runners in scoring position, and Michael Bush, to his credit, did not disappoint. Michael Bush came through for the Chicago Cubs and gave them the lead, hitting a single and scoring 2 runs in this game. That gave the Chicago Cubs the lead, and they never looked back after that, continuing to pile on. Like I said, at the end there was a little bit of drama with Jacob Webb, just not being able to get out. The Phillies were threatening, had the tying run at the plate in Trey Turner, and Trey Turner popped out to Seiya Suzuki. I'm sorry, to Dansby Swanson, and that was the end of the game for the Chicago Cubs. So, like I said, the Chicago Cubs win the game. All's well that ends well. They bring in Caleb Thielbar, and he's able to shut the door. And the Chicago Cubs right now, the runs they're scoring, the run differential, the way that they're manufacturing runs, this is winning baseball. And this is what we like to see from the Chicago Cubs. And again, taking care of an opponent while they're slumping. You find an opponent that is slumping, that is not playing good baseball right now, that's still trying to figure things out. You're at home. You're supposed to take advantage of them. You're supposed to win this series. Point blank. Point blank, period. You do not want teams catching their groove against you, especially not on the road, especially not when you got the next 6 on the road going up against 2 very good teams in the Los Angeles Dodgers this weekend, and then you go straight to San Diego after that to face those Padres, who are going to be looking for retribution against the Chicago Cubs after their early exit in the postseason last year. Both teams playing very good baseball. Mason Miller for the San Diego Padres has not given up a single run yet. Nothing. Like I said, he is on he's on a new level with what he's trying to do right now. So listen, you want to be aware of what's going on around the league and the teams that you're getting ready to face. Because like I said, the Padres are playing good baseball. They're 15-7 right there with the Chicago Cubs. And you already know what the Dodgers are doing. The Dodgers are 16-6 right now. So again, you're facing 2 Titans coming up this week to end your time in April before we get to May. And like I said, it's just up to the Chicago Cubs to put their best foot forward and try to win baseball games. So, going to be very interesting to see what the Chicago Cubs do. And then after that, when you come back, you have the Diamondbacks, who you're going to face. And then it don't get any easier after that, because after the Diamondbacks, you got 4 against the Cincinnati Reds. And then after that, you're going to face the Texas Rangers. The Chicago Cubs will not have another off day after they come back from San Diego. Once they start their homestand, they will not have another off day until it looks like May 13th. So that's a lot of baseball in the road for the Chicago Cubs. You're going to get some guys back in that time. Some guys are going to hopefully get healthy and reappear, and we'll see what happens with this club. But again, all's well that ends well right now. Take advantage of Philadelphia before you go on that another tough stretch of baseball games where you need to compete at a high level. So, with that being said, the Chicago Cubs are getting back another guy that is healthy, active, who will be activated tomorrow and will pitch in the game tomorrow for the Chicago Cubs on Wednesday evening for the Chicago Cubs. It'll be Matthew Boyd. So we'll get you ready for that game now. What are the keys to the game? Matthew Boyd is to be activated coming off of the IL and will pitch. Will start the game for the Chicago Cubs, going up against none other than those Philadelphia Phillies, going for a 3rd win for the Chicago Cubs. The Phillies have not decided who they are, or have not announced who they are going to pitch in that game, but they are also considering maybe using a starter, and then after that having somebody come in and pitch. But the Chicago Cubs will send Matthew Boyd back to the mound. He has a 1-1 record with a 6.75 ERA. He is a 1.18 whip. He has pitched 9 1/3 inning for the Chicago Cubs. So Phil Maton, also His knee is determining next steps after throwing live batting practice. Hunter Harvey will restart his throwing program on Friday. Also, another thing to note is that Porter Hodge did have his surgery. He will be out between 12 to 14 months with him in a brace right now. So again, I'm sorry, Porter Hodge will be out for a good long while. We will not see Porter Hodge. I mean, we might not see anybody in baseball next season. We'll see if there's a lockout or not. But I mean, Porter Hodge is out for a while. So I look for the Chicago Cubs to make some adjustments, especially on this road trip. We're going to need some other arms. Some guys are going to have to step up so that the Chicago Cubs can win some games here. So be very interesting to see who we will face. But listen, that's my time for this episode. Like I said, give me your thoughts. Is Nico Hoerner the best second baseman in baseball right now, with what he's doing on the field and at the plate? And let me know you guys' thoughts on Shota Imanaga. Once again, turning back the clock and just, like I said, confusing hitters left and right and getting a lot of ground ball contact to get outs. I'm excited for this road trip coming up, but I'd like to see the Cubs finish off these two against the Phillies. And of course, we wave that W flag every single time the Chicago Cubs get a victory right here on Chicago Cubs Central. Listen, I appreciate you guys so much. Until next time, go Cubs, go.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the #1 spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.